Hello there, and welcome to the True Pop Culture 7 show. I'm your host, True Pop, here to laugh and think about pop culture stupidity. Yeah, my regular co-host, Mr. Bug, couldn't make it for this week's show. Uh, he'll definitely be in next week's. He had some Wi-Fi trouble, unfortunately. But in that case, I got two extra guests in here. First off, we have Danny Damage. Hello, good sir. Would you like to
Hello.
introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Danny. I've been writing for about 10 years now. Lately, I've been writing for Geeks and Gamers for their wrestling. If you're into pro wrestling, that's my thing. But I'm also into video games and comics and a bit of anime and manga and lots of other stuff.
Nice. Very nice. Zee Threepio, would you like to tell the people where they can find you and what your shtick is essentially?
Good afternoon, Master True Pop, sir. My name is Z3PO, Human Cyborg Relations, and I am one of the panel guests on the Mr. Brown Alliance, which you can just search on YouTube.
Nice, nice. All right. Intros, very smooth, fellas. Very smooth.
Thank you.
Smoother than usual. Yeah. I guess without further ado, we'll get into the first segment of the show, which is sucked into pop culture.
And finally, the piece de resistance.
Yeah. Okay. So, in this week's sucked into pop culture, I think the only notable thing that I remember I remember just watching Extraction 2 on Netflix, the sequel. Yeah, I definitely enjoyed the first one. It really did provide like long takes of action sequences. Plus Chris Hemsworth can really fight. He's probably familiar with fighting in all the MCU movies. A heck of a fun to be found in this one. Again, some really long takes essentially that continuously go on, uh, which is immensely hook you in. Absolutely loved it.
It certainly is pretty good, that one. I watched that myself, and
Mhm.
the actual extraction from the prison to the train is 20 minutes just full of action.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know how they pulled that the insane amount of planning that must have gone into that. There's probably some trickery in there to make it look like one shot.
Mm,
Um,
almost
I, I,
certainly.
I yeah, I know they did that for that film. What's it called? The war movie. I'm forgetting the name.
1917.
Yes, yes, yeah. Uh, I think it was directed by I think he directed Skyfall. Can't remember the director's name, but yeah, that was a great movie. And those kind of shots, you just literally can't take your eyes off the screen.
No, it reminded me of the staircase scene from season 1 of Netflix Daredevil.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
The just absolute precision on
Mhm.
every single move. It was fantastic to watch.
Yeah, definitely. I love those kinds of action scenes. Shame we won't be getting anything like that in the Disney Plus Daredevil, but
Not if
that's been.
Secret Invasion is anything to go by.
Oh, funny you mentioned that. We'll be talking about that on the news segment next, actually,
Oh,
with Director
excellent.
of some comments. So, yay! Can't wait for that. So yeah, I watched Extraction 2. I think I remember the week before that I was rewatching House of the Dragon. I haven't finished it yet, but yeah, I can say that it is definitely interestingly written. It's really not black and white in terms of good versus evil. There's shades of grey in it, which I find very much so engaging to listen. I haven't finished it yet, unfortunately, for some reason, because I'm watching it with my relatives. Watching it all together, and it's a little difficult to get everyone in one room and just watch something essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm on episode like 8 or 7. I can't remember. It's when King Viserys dies. So that was a bit of a difficult episode, but definitely definitely worth the watch. And then I think also, how could I forget? I also watched the Grand Tour Eurocash with James May and Jeremy Clarkson and Richard Hammond. I love their show to absolute pieces. I know next to nothing about cars. I just watch them and their dynamic. They're very lovable people. Chemistry off the roof. And yeah, in that Prime Video episode, that specific Eurocash episode, they went through Poland. So as a Polishman, I am proud that they went through my country. Yeah, apparently there were a lot of fans in there trying to take autographs as soon as they went to Krakow, I think. So yeah, I definitely recommend that, giving that a watch. Down Damage, what did you watch or read in the last week, pop culture wise?
In the last week, we've been keeping up with the second series of Beavis and Butthead since it's been rebooted with Mike Judge at the helm. Like I say, on the second season now, it's still really funny. He did a second film last year, which sort of split off a second sort of device that they can just tell stories about old Beavis and Butthead when they're in middle age. So some episodes will be Beavis and Butthead as mid-teenagers, others like in the 40s. So it refreshes it. He doesn't just talk about, they don't just do the commentary on music videos now. They just pretty much do what YouTubers doing reaction videos do, which they obviously did in the 90s with music videos. But they'll take the piss out of just different influences as well. So not just music. It's quite refreshing. That's, I'm trying to think how many episodes of that. We're close to like maybe 10 episodes now, so I don't think there's going to be many left, but I think they're going to keep doing it. So if you enjoyed it in the 90s, or even just the first film, it's definitely worth watching.
I remember that clip of it going around Twitter, where one of the teachers told them that they have this thing called privilege, essentially, that cops don't essentially arrest them, and I can't remember any of the other privilege rules, and they just went down, caused chaos, shoplifted a shop. They did.
Yeah,
yeah.
The setup for that
a literal interpretation of what the teacher said. And I just love that they just interpreted it literally, and yeah.
The setup for that was a guy putting his hand over a woman's mouth to like shut her up from speaking, to then speak for her.
Yeah.
And there's a part of me that thinks the whole film was just written around, what if Beavis and Butthead walked into a gender studies class and they're like, that's brilliant, how do we, what goes around that? Because it was just, the scene was so brilliant. I was like, oh, that film's worth a watch. Beavis and Butthead do the universe.
Yeah. I imagine there's some great moments in there. Zee Threepio, what did you consume pop culture wise in the last week?
I consumed this week's episode of Superman and Lois, as I've been following that from the start. If you've not watched it, I suggest you maybe do. It's the best thing.
I watched that too as well. Yeah,
it's on the CW, and we're just approaching this season finale, and we get to meet Lex Luthor for the first time in 3 seasons. He's being played by Michael Cudlitz, who was Abraham on The Walking Dead. And boy, does he give a performance. He is a really dark, menacing, and thoroughly frightening incarnation of the character. And I cannot wait for the next episode. Thankfully, this has been renewed for season 4. So I hope they just keep on dishing out the high-octane drama like they are.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, now Lex Luthor is around. When I saw first images, it just looks like a redneck to me. You know, kind of the beard, muscular, kind of thing. But I kind of don't mind it, to be honest. When I saw him, I mean, you kind of have to. All you need is Lex Luthor to be bold, and BVS didn't even manage to do that at first. So, yeah, definitely an interesting episode to look into. Lex Luthor finally in the 3rd season. I mean, they didn't take the time with it, but definitely interesting. It was worth the wait, definitely. again, you're spot on with saying that the actor did a great job. Yeah, can't wait to see how, because there's more nuance to it. Because the CW have given us Smallville, Lex Luthor, and now they've given us this one, who just from a scene we can all praise. And
Yeah, and you just do not want to mess with him on any kind of level.
and what I've noticed is there's a bit more nuance to him. Like when he goes out of jail, he essentially drops his wedding ring and keeps the photo of his daughter. And he does say to Lois that he was innocent of the crime, which is kind of like, oh, it's a twist. He's not guilty of something, and he still went to jail for it.
Yeah,
So maybe that's some commentary how the jail system can make you kind of even worse for crimes you didn't commit in the first place. But
absolutely. And there's a scene where he's standing on the porch of the Kents, and he looks the actor who plays him directly in the eyes, and he's got that little moment there as if you think, does he recognize him?
yeah. I mean, why wouldn't he? I mean, why does anyone not? But
Yeah, absolutely. And his body language, absolutely amazing, conveys everything I wanted in a arch enemy of Superman.
Yeah, definitely. In this that episode, they definitely established that hatred between Lois and him. But I'd be curious to find out why he has a grudge against Superman. That's always an interesting reason to watch. The dynamic between Lex and Super. I do like some comic interpretation to where Lex Luthor has a point, essentially, that he's not essentially all wrong. He's just ego driven and narcissist, essentially. But he does have a good point. I think that's an interesting way to do Lex. But yeah, I'd definitely be interested to see the next season. Anything else that you watched or read?
Yeah, binge watched season 6 of Charlie Brooker's Black Mirror on Netflix.
Okay. How was that?
Well, 5 episodes for this season, so they've slimmed down a bit, but I think that's reflected in the stars that they've actually got in it. So, I mean, the cast has been absolutely amazing. Standout for me was seeing Selma Hayek in Joan is Awful, which is the first episode.
Okay.
My personal favorite is a murder mystery one called Loch Henry, which is the second episode, where a young couple travel up to a Scottish town where his mum lives to work on a nature documentary, but then start looking into a murder that happened there, which unfortunately covers some very disturbing secrets.
Okay. I know. I think I've only watched the first episode of Black Mirror, so definitely.
Yeah, if you like those tales of the unexpected Twilight Zone type of tales, then they've certainly got a twist to every single one of them.
Oh yeah, certainly. There's room to experiment in them. The thing is, like, I even though I haven't watched all of Black Mirror, the thing is, I think I'd watched some episodes, and there probably might be some episodes that I don't particularly feel any way, one way or the other, or some that I would really like. So I'd imagine it'd be a bit difficult to like Black Mirror as a whole, essentially, since the episodes are so different to each other, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, it works very well as an anthology series. None of the stories are interconnected, although occasionally you do get some icons from the other episodes appearing in other episodes. For instance, Joan is Awful has got a poster of the second episode, Loch Henry, on the wall at some point. So, but they can be reviewed in any order. There's always going to be one that sucks for you. I think the one that didn't really hit for me was the third episode, but I certainly love. There's an episode called Maisie Day, which has a twist that I didn't expect until the end, and Demon 79, which is the final episode. Yeah, so that's a thing. It's
Okay.
making a deal with a demon
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Because
in 1979 London.
okay, what episode is that? I'd be curious to know
That's
that
the fifth
because
episode, Demon 79.
okay, I'll look into that because I've been doing some writing in terms of stories, and it does include the demons making devils with a certain character. So yeah, I'd be curious. I was just researching what kind of stories do that, like Faust and uh Robert De Niro movie. I can't remember.
Then this absolutely is your episode.
Okay, interesting. I would check. Okay, I'll look into that. Let's see what we had, Chad. Mr. Brown Alliance saying his hello to you, Zee Threepio.
Easy. You wait your turn, Mr. Brown. I'll be seeing you later.
Okay. We got a ha 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 from Fuel Postal Company. Okay, hello to you, good sir. We got a regular here, Trinocle SP. See, I presume you're an analog?
I am indeed.
Okay. Yeah, can't accuse Disney Plus of providing inconsistent content. Yeah, funny that you say that, Trinocle SP, because that is the next topic, unfortunately. I presume all of you guys didn't bother watching the pristine Disney Plus shows that are on Disney Plus.
Nope.
I certainly didn't want to bother, but Secret Invasion was something that looks somewhat interesting to me. So when they originally announced the Disney Plus shows, the stuff that I was interested in was Moon Knight, Wonder Vision, like the beginning of it when I looked into it, like, oh, this sounds interesting, and Secret Invasion, because I really liked the comic book. It definitely had some Invasion of the Body Snatchers vibes to it, commie takeover essentially. As a poll, I kind of find that interesting. Because I don't like comics. But yeah, definitely this the kind of alien invasion. I definitely found the concepts fascinating. Does this show use that comic storyline to its potential? Not really. I just get the feeling that it's using the comics title just to tell its own thing essentially, and it's nothing like what you read about. And this little news article may explain as to why that is the case. Secret Invasion director Al Salim reveals he was told not to read the iconic Marvel Comics storyline before making the MCU show, which is absolutely ridiculous. This is like, what, the 5th time this has happened? I'm pretty sure it has happened with the Last of Us show, with Pedro Pascal and whatever her name is, Game of Thrones girl. They were specifically told not to play the game, which I find incredibly stupid as well. How long do you guys think they could go?
It's essentially admitting that it's not relevant. If you read the comics, if you read the source material, then you're just going to need to unlearn that. So don't bother learning any of that. Just look at a couple of pictures and be like, there's our concept. And that's pretty much admitting that it's just really lazy.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, it's the comic in name only. They've basically thrown out all the things that made that particular story great, and then gone ahead and gone, well, I can do better than that.
Yeah,
there's like ego to it. Yeah, and exactly, like I've seen also, but apparently this show has the lowest ratings of any MCU Disney Plus show, which is saying
I'm not
something.
surprised. It's rubbish.
I
mean, all the way through it, Fury is being told that he's too old for this shit. Give up.
He has a knee wobble as well. Apparently, there's some secret twist about him, but maybe he's a Skrull. Who knows?
They killed Maria Hill, you bastards.
What was the point in that? Do you think, Zee Threepio? Like, do they not have any ideas what to do with her essentially, and they just killed her off? Like, that just seems, I think, climactic to me. I thought there was a plan for her. Nope.
She's been in the MCU for 10 years. It's like, give the character some respect.
pretty sure she was in Earth's Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. I love that show. That's my Marvel encyclopedia knowledge. That's what, because I didn't grow up on comics. I grew up on animated TV shows, and then worked my way into the comics. Because comics weren't really accessible where I lived. Essentially, I'm pretty sure Maria Hill took over Shield as the boss when Nick Fury went missing and looking for these scrolls.
Yes, it would be imaginable that she would have taken the head of Shield after Fury vanished.
Exactly. And it doesn't seem like that's the case. More so that it's what, Rhodey, I think? Well, maybe it's Rhodey, who knows? And the thing is, you could do so much. And they've turned it into like this. They shrunk it down to like this little spy story essentially. Which, okay, maybe that's a good idea to kind of lower-ish the stakes and concentrate on one character, Nick Fury, taking care of this. But Secret Invasion is about them taking over all of planet Earth and you know, replacing each superhero one by one. It can't just be a Nick Fury show because it's a freaking alien invasion. So there's literally tons of stories you could do that are based around like one character that have lower stakes and are definitely more engaging. And those are the kind of stories I think the MCU definitely needs right now. Kind of like Daredevil, kind of like your Spider-Man: Homecoming. You know, where it's just, you know, a hero trying to do some good, and it isn't world-ending stakes. Well, technically, this isn't world-ending stakes; just take over stakes. But you know,
No, it's just also I found it very dumb that they know that they're in an abandoned power station, but they don't know where it is. How many abandoned power stations are there in the world?
Yeah, that is a good point. To be honest,
what, there are 2, 3?
Yeah, I was too busy like slowly closing my eyes essentially to notice any plot inconsistencies. Essentially, I just found
It's
it
not just the plot; it's the scenery as well. There's a scene where they're both in a pub together, having a drink, playing chess. The chessboard's the wrong way round.
Is it? Oh no!
The blank square should be in the bottom right, and it's not. Bottom left, not the bottom right. So they've unfortunately got the chessboard round. It's like things that stick out to you is you know, really stick out to you. I'll give an example. If you watch that final episode of Black Mirror, there's a scene where the police chief and his female police officer are in a certain location, and she puts on a hat. And in the next scene, she puts on a hat. And it's just those little things that just stick out to you, and like a sore thumb or a splinter or something. You think, hold on, what's going on here? And that's the sort of lackadaisical editing and interesting that you just come to expect on certain productions. But
are they getting fed up of making content now? Because it's just
it seems like it.
Because I had to write a little something for a clickbaity site a year or so ago about Black Mirror, and I've not seen all of them or anything, but I've seen a couple, and I was watched some more for research. But they said that one of the reasons they cut the seasons down so short to like 6 or 8 episodes was just crew fatigue. And it's like all the shows are doing this now, and they have a mini series that's 6 to 8 episodes. And could it be said that they're rushing things too much and they're not giving themselves a chance to actually tell a story, which is why they've just, in this case, have to have a Nick Fury program? Because if they had multiple characters in, they'd be taking like the usual 20, 22, 25 episodes to get there and come to like a natural conclusion with ebbs and flows and a bit of rhythm to it. But it's just, no, we just need the big thing, the big revelation, the big thing. And they don't give a chance for things to breathe, I imagine. If they're just trying to condense everything down to 6 episodes or 8, I don't know what this has got in it.
Because, I mean, it's going to be a case of when you get to the Marvels, when that comes out and bombs like a meteor, to get up to speed with that, you're going to have watched Secret Invasion. You're probably going to have watched Ms. Marvel as well to know who the hell she is, and you're going to have to watch WandaVision to know who the other character is. So you've got to watch 3 series to dive into this next movie. Who's going to bother to do that?
Yeah,
Nobody.
Are they going
that's
to have to
spread
just
very thinly.
explain everything again?
Yeah.
Yeah, you make a good point. And the thing is, like, with these shows, it doesn't feel like you're missing out on anything, really. They're very much so Biden. I don't think Marvel understands how to make TV, essentially. I mean, they've made several movies, but TV is a whole new another animal, and they don't seem to understand. I don't know, you have to at least try. You can't just essentially break down a movie into, like, several little parts.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they should do, just make movies and you know, put them on Disney Plus, because these
Yeah, I mean,
episodes are just
they're
nothing burgers. Like
a lot
She-Hulk.
faster paced and a lot tighter, and consequently have got a lot of more watchability. I mean, I watch The Winter Soldier. I watch, I watch that every other month because it's a great political intrigue action film. But these things always feel like they've been bloated too much. Like there's 1/3 too many episodes.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with that. I know Sherlock, the BBC show, like did like an hour's episode, and they were essentially movies. Something like that would be. I'd be happy to essentially watch something like that and just get it over instead of waiting for the next episode after a week just to watch 20 minutes or 30. Sometimes I'm pretty sure there was like a 36-minute She-Hulk episode. I'm pretty sure. It's pathetic. That runtime is just. Why are you calling yourself a TV show at this point?
That's close to anime style, that.
Yeah. Speaking of bloating, this little comment very much so surprised me. This movie is gonna be a disaster. I think this is gonna be Last Jedi levels of a movie. Indiana Jones, Dial of Destiny.
Box office wise, The Last Jedi did well.
Well, I think Crystal Skull did around 100 million somewhere ish in its opening weekend. This movie is projected 70 to 80 million. Now I'm pretty sure Crystal Skull made a little over $500 million, essentially. So 500 around the 500 million mark, maybe 600. But the thing is, they've spent on this movie a crap ton on reshoots, on the young CGI. It has one of the most expensive budgets ever, and then you like around close to 300 million, and then you times that by 2 with marketing, and it needs to make well over at least half, well over what Crystal Skull made essentially. I don't see this film essentially making money in that case. I think Odin from Friday Night Tights, he does like box office breakdowns, and I don't think this movie is going to profit essentially. And from the reviews that I've been hearing, like Chris Gore and the critics' reviews, it looks terrible. And it's all what we predicted. Phoebe Waller-Bridge is insufferable to watch. Wow, what a shocker! What a surprise! And to add to salt to injury, essentially, Kathleen Kennedy comes out and says that it's entirely possible for Phoebe Waller-Bridge to take over the Indiana Jones franchise, and it's isn't that music to your ears, gentlemen?
No.
Yeah, well, that sounds like that's what the bill's for. That's what they've paid all that money for. Not to try and make a successful film, but just to officially have video evidence of Phoebe Waller-Bridge taking over from a shitty, stupid man who's just useless and just gets in the way and is just trouble, isn't he?
Yeah,
so
it's failure in life.
Yeah. What I've heard, spoilers for Dial of Destiny, if you really care. Indy got divorced, and his son, Shia LaBeouf, was killed in Vietnam. So I'm gonna just drop that little plot details on there.
Yeah, let's make him as miserable as possible. That's
Exactly
what we need.
one. Just as soon as you hear that, it's just like pain, absolute pain.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm definitely gonna review it for the channel. I'm planning to make reviews and stuff like that, like well-edited videos and whatnot. And this, I imagine, will be good content at the very least. And I have a way to not pay full price for cinema tickets. Essentially, like I can pay less than half price for them. So I may watch this film.
Good
to
luck.
my extreme
Well,
excitement.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
You're going
I'll
to have
watch
to
it so
write
you don't have
down.
to.
You're going to have to write down
Mhm.
every time Phoebe Waller-Bridge slags off
Mhm.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah. I'll take a notepad and a pen
Just-
with me.
Yeah, just
Pulls her
jot each
face,
one
rolls
down.
her eyes,
Yeah,
or yeah.
absolutely.
Mhm.
But this is not going to happen. These are just words, another lie
Mhm.
coming out of the studio. This movie is not going to do well. They are not going to make another. And Phoebe Waller-Bridge is also already tied up in a Tomb Raider series, which would
Yeah,
be a conflict of interests.
exactly. See, I
Oh,
reckon
yeah, that's
she
interesting.
took that because they know this will be a flop, and Phoebe wants her Indiana Jones whole shtick. So it's just like, why don't I take over Tomb Raider instead? Then, if I'm not going to get the Indiana Jones job, essentially,
Yeah.
it's essentially Plan B for her.
Yeah. I wouldn't
that's
be
what I read about
surprised
that.
if she cast herself.
Kenzo in the chat, you must enjoy torture.
Pain.
Well, it's only 2 hours. Hang on, this film is like really long, right? Like 2 hours and 12 minutes. Okay, 2 hours and 12. Okay, you know what?
And apparently 5 different endings.
Wow,
So I
Bloody
don't know
hell.
which one we're going to get. But
that's
they've,
fascinating.
they had to, I think I read online, they had to reshoot the ending 5 times.
Jeez.
What,
With
through
screen tests and whatnot.
incompetence or because they're trying to hide
I
the
think
ending for
negative
spoilers?
screen tests.
Yeah,
I think
from
so.
the original audiences, they didn't like the ending at all. There were reshoots, and when we thought the
Fair
movie had
enough.
all wrapped, John Williams let off that he'd actually rescored for some scenes they shot the previous week. So they've been refilming this right up to the edge, trying to get it right, and
Wow.
it's still going to fail.
That explains the hefty budget. I can't
I
wait.
just refer to the South Park episode. The South Park episode where they refer to the Crystal Skull and Indy getting, by Lucas and Spielberg.
You know,
Just leave 'em
I
alone.
can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait to watch the EFAP of this movie. Essentially, I'm more excited about the content surrounding it rather than the movie itself. You know.
I will also be there in the chat listening.
Oh
I
yeah.
can't wait.
Yeah. I mean, because this is like Rise of Skywalker and TLJ over again. Like, I think it's like a movie of that level, of that stupidity. And I remember listening to like the Rise of Skywalker with Shad and as well. It was like near Christmas. Good God, that was so fun.
That is
Listening to them break
episode
it down.
66.
Oh yeah. That was an absolute joy listening to them break down Rise of Skywalker, and yeah, definitely one of my favorite episodes. I'm in the middle of. I'm going to start listening to what they thought of the Flash. I know there's. The more I thought about that film, the more this doesn't make sense. There's probably even more stuff that it doesn't make sense on top of that, and I can't wait to essentially dig into this one. It's just like, well, we're excited for this movie, but not for the reasons you want, essentially, as YouTubers. So yeah, highly anticipate that. Speaking of highly anticipating, a little bit bizarre bit of news, I suppose. So there's a certain rumor going around that Elon Musk is going to fight Zuckerberg in a cage match, and all money goes to charity essentially. And there was this like guy posting a funny meme about it. So, I mean,
Yeah.
the image doesn't lie. I mean, Elon is obviously going to win with that build. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Nay or yay, or which one do you think will win, the Lizard Man or the Truck Man?
Sorry, go on.
Go on. I was thinking Zuckerberg would win.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, do tell us why.
Yeah, he's trained in jiu-jitsu.
Oh, okay.
I know it's a cage match, but he's got some skills.
Okay.
Whereas I don't know what Musk has done.
I think he's he went to the gym somewhat. I can't remember. I don't know.
What does he come out with there? An exoskeleton?
Maybe. Yeah. Danny, what about you? Who are you making bets on?
Well, I can't see Musk not of having some sort of been sparring or doing boxing or something. He seems like the type that maybe would, but just wouldn't go around telling people about it. He's got a bit more weight on him than Zuckerberg has. So, yeah, if you got hold of him, yeah,
got him in a vice essentially. It's
well,
game
yeah,
over. Yeah.
I'm sure Zuckerberg's quite handy, but he's not got as much on him from what I remember. So I don't think it'd take that many from Musk to put him down.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'd
I'd
say
be
Musk
curious
just
to
on
see if they
instinct
go
for
through with this.
size.
Yeah. I'd be very
I'd watch
interested.
it.
I mean,
I'd bloody watch it just out of curiosity.
Absolutely. I would illegally stream it to Twitter.
Maybe actually Elon would do that essentially. Stream it. That's brilliant marketing right there. Just stream your own cage match on the site that you own essentially. I'd be like, there was a Buggy versus what's his name? Wings of Redemption fight. I mean, they should have made that a sumo wrestling match, not a boxing match. Big mistake there.
It was funny though.
It was hilarious.
Especially when somebody sung the USA national anthem before the match. Which
correction, they tried.
My God, it's terrible. It's so funny.
It has a certain charm to it, I suppose. Like the current state of America is reflected in this anthem. It would definitely be interesting. I mean, you have to get Joe Rogan to commentate on the match. No other people would be suitable. I think this would definitely get some, especially if they go through with it and put it on Twitter. That is just going to probably be the most watched thing in the entire history of the earth. I don't know what else could beat it.
I would take time off to watch it.
Watching it live. Yeah, definitely. Speaking of little other news in terms of game consoles, I suppose this little thing kind of irritated me because I haven't even got a PlayStation 5, and apparently Microsoft thinks that the next one is going to launch in 2028, which is kind of stupid. But I hope they do. Yeah,
that's basically trying to get everybody to buy a PS5.
Yeah,
because that's 5 years in the future. That's not going to keep them on top.
Exactly, and the PS5 came out.
Haven't Microsoft actually said that their brand is now dead?
Yeah, that they did say that they're losing in the console war essentially, and yeah, the PlayStation 5 came out in 2020, so 8 years is not a lot of time to purchase a console, especially if, like, for the most of its release, 2 of those years, or maybe 3, you could not get your hands on the PS5 or the Xbox. So
No,
the fact that they're
my son's got a PS5. I'm still stuck with a PS4.
yeah. I mean, I find this frankly ridiculous. I don't know. Maybe they could be incorrect. You know, I'm hoping so.
I wouldn't be
Or they just
surprised.
do like a. Maybe they'll just do like a PS5 Pro or something like that.
Yeah, that's coming soon, isn't it? Yeah.
Maybe.
Underneath says next Christmas or 2025.
Okay. So I suppose the PS5 will be a lot more available. Do you reckon? I don't see Sony like calling it. Maybe they'll call it something else other than PS6, but you know, I guess numbers work. Microsoft doesn't kind of understand that. You know, you got Xbox One, then you have the Xbox Series. The stupid title. So I don't know what other title they'll come up with to the next console. Yeah, definitely. That you guys are probably right. It's definitely a strategy to get you to buy essentially the current consoles faster.
Yeah, it's like fear of loss. They're telling you in 2028 the new one's going to come out, so the ones that you need to get soon are going to be worthless. So the sooner you get one, the better, because the longer you wait, the quicker they're going to be worthless. They're just trying to control you in that way to make you make an impulse buy.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's
and
really
Nintendo
greedy.
just does their own thing.
Yeah, and that's why I love them. I don't have all the Nintendo consoles, but they've always, even the Wii, since the Wii, people took the absolute piss out of that. But it's just like you say, they're doing their own thing. They're not doing this, right, we're going to bring something out every year or every other year. So you end up paying the same recommended retail price for the console for its entire life, because we just put an extra 20 gig in the hard drive or an extra half gig of RAM or something. So that price stays the same. It rarely drops. But yeah, Nintendo just crack on, and it's like they're not looking at the neighbor's homework. They're just getting on with what they're doing.
Yeah, definitely.
Which I admire them for.
Well, do you know the price point for the Switch now? I
looked at the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Special Edition one. So that's a console with all the extra fancy wraps and stuff, and that was 320, I think it was.
Okay.
Which, when you look at that side by side with a PlayStation 5 for 550 quid, I can see why a lot of people would go, "We'll get the Switch."
Yeah, I think like with the disc, it's like without anything, just the controller, without your headsets and whatnot, just the controller and the disc. PlayStation, it's 450, and the digital one is about, I think, 400 or 350. And I just despise the current push to digital. You know, I'll buy this one, you know, because everything is digital, and you don't really own the games at that point.
You will own nothing,
I know.
and you will be happy.
yeah. Oh, nothing, and you'll be happy.
You will own nothing, and you'll be happy. I'm all on board with you, mate. I completely agree.
I know Spider-Man 2, the game, the anticipated sequel to Spider-Man PS. They need to name these games something. Like literally, I just say Spider-Man 2. Oh, do you mean the Raimi film? No, the game. They definitely need to freaking work on the title. I hate it. It's so freaking stupid. The thing with that game is like they just released like a collector's edition to be able to pre-order, and you get like this cool statues, some skins, and you know the steel book that has some gorgeous art. Wow! It has a digital edition of the game. No physical copy. And it's just like, why would I want to buy that?
Yeah.
I can just buy the freaking statue separately then. Just give me the freaking digital game. And even Starfield is doing the same thing of not even bothering with a digital copy. I'm pretty sure God of War Ragnarok didn't even bother with a digital copy either. So
I mean, that's something you've always got to worry about, isn't it? It's going to get to the point where they go, we no longer support this game that you spent £60 on.
Exactly. Yep.
So you can no longer play it, and you're sitting there going, hold on a minute. I not only spent £60 on this, I also spent another 40 on DLC, and now I
Yeah.
can't have it anymore.
And all the hours
Exactly.
of time you've put into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been going on with Switch with a lot of the older. I guess it's it's someone I follow on Twitter keeps up with it, but I think it's the old Game Boy Advance and the Nintendo DS games that they had in the store. They've just stopped supporting quite a lot of stuff, and that's it. It's digital only, and once it's gone, it's gone.
Hmm.
That's it.
That is why, like, some sort of sailing the seas essentially should be kept alive, just because of this reason: game preservation. Essentially,
Yeah.
it's not. It doesn't all have to be essentially shady stuff. Just essentially, if Nintendo won't do it, someone has to. If these companies won't do it, someone has to preserve these games.
Yeah, I mean, the Nintendo Switch has got the advantage of it only being the only one of the three that's a portable system.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got that in its favor. I mean, if Nintendo step out the pace with more and more new titles, these two are going to sink into oblivion if they don't do something.
Definitely. Okay, are you?
Sorry.
No worries. Finish what you're saying.
I was just going to make a joke about what Nintendo should really do is just put a free course out online on how to build your own PC. Just like a YouTube video. And just be like, hey, do you not want to pay £500 for a PlayStation or an Xbox, and still have that PC experience? Here's how you build a PC. And then if people know how to build them themselves, they don't need to make do with an Xbox and PlayStation. Nintendo stuff is very different from PC gaming, whereas the other two, they try and be PC gaming without being a PC, essentially, in my opinion. Whereas Nintendo are very different and they're a games console.
Yeah,
that would actually be quite funny if they did like 10 different adverts. They were like building a PC, installing the power supply,
going through the price as well of all the different parts and being like, this is what this actually costs. This is what it's a Microsoft charger. Still want to pay for it?
You guys sound like PC supremacists to me, and this is just so unfair. I am definitely a console enjoyer, where you simply just get a console and you just play and enjoy it instead of finding all these ridiculous parts from all different countries.
You can't do that with consoles now. You can't just plug it. You just can't just put the disc in and play. You put the disc in.
Yeah,
and
you can't. They took that
while
feature
we
away.
update your thing. We're now sort of like installing a 4 GB patch.
I miss the freaking PS3 days. Yeah. Oh my! The transitioning from PS3 to the PS4 was an absolute nightmare. It's just like, I haven't played this game in a long time. I'll play it now. Wait for the update. Okay, the update's finished. Wait for the installation. Oh, okay. Can I play it now? No, we've actually got a new patch update that we just launched after the launch. So you gotta have that too. And it's just like,
now PlayStation Network needs updating.
Yeah, it's frankly ridiculous. I miss I miss the old days when I just played Uncharted 2, one of my favorite Uncharted games, one of my favorite games of all time. You just plug in the disc and you just play it. Revolutionary idea, I know. There are some features that I've seen, and it's apparently available for Starfield, where you can pre-download the game before it even releases. So you can essentially download it. You can't play it, and once it launches, you can play it. I think that's an interesting feature.
A bit like Steam with a time lock.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Uncharted 2 was great back in the heyday. I still think it's the best Uncharted game in terms of story and
action.
Yeah. Fourth one is gameplay wise is absolutely amazing.
Story.
I do not like
rubbish.
the story.
No.
Yeah. I do not. I think because of the original creator, essentially, it left.
Uncharted 2, also my favorite one. Played that to death on the PS3, and I've got it in the Uncharted collection for the PS4.
Respect. I love that game.
Drake!
So you see, Uncharted. I played Uncharted 2, right, and then 3. 3 just felt like Uncharted 2 DLC to me. It wasn't really. I don't remember it, but it wasn't the worst.
That
I
was the one
suppose.
with it was a genie all along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was supposed to be it was a genie all along, but they kind of wussied out of it.
Wussied out
Essentially.
at the end, so you didn't get to see anything.
Yeah. I mean, those parts are interesting. You're like, oh, Drake's actually facing some supernatural shit.
Yeah. And
But
then he
doesn't
totally
really.
didn't.
It's just come on. I mean, this stuff you do it in Tomb Raider. Why can't you do it in here? I'm
Yeah, I
pretty
mean,
sure they didn't do anything like that in Uncharted 4 either in the story, like anything supernatural
it was
either.
teased so hard, and then they just dropped the ball right at the end.
I mean, yeah. I'm a bit sad that we won't get any Nathan Drake games anymore. I would take a 5th one, but not when Cockman is around. Essentially,
Maybe they should do an Uncharted TV series like Last of Us.
maybe if
And
Craig
then,
Mazin is in there, I'd take it over the freaking Tom Holland.
yeah, and they can just
abomination.
recast Tom Holland as an actual action star.
Yeah, Nathan Fillion would have been great.
Yeah,
he played
he
in
would.
like
He would have
fan
been
movie.
perfect. I've watched that fan movie, and it's absolutely brilliant, just like the game. Even mirroring some of Nathan Drake's moves. It was really, really inventive.
That was just great. Yeah. Enough about this Uncharted spiel. Time to get to the main event of this little get together, I suppose. Which is sharing my pain in watching this treasure, I suppose. Kraven.
I'm already dead inside from the One Piece trailer from the other day. So even well, just I don't think anything could hurt my eyes or my soul as much as that thing did.
Zee Threepio, what are your initial thoughts on this movie? Like when it was first announced, what did you think?
I thought to myself, why? Why are you doing this? You know, there are plenty of other characters that you could choose, but you chose Kraven for reasons.
And I'm making him into a superhero, don't you know?
With
frankly,
a sympathetic backstory.
Good God. We'll get into it. We'll get into it. But
yeah.
The thing is just this. My initial reaction was essentially this.
Why?
That is my favorite meme clip.
I mean, if you didn't know anything at all about Kraven the Hunter,
that's me.
Yeah.
You would have maybe got the thought that he got his powers from a radioactive lion.
Danny, did you think that when we watched like the trailer behind the scenes, like what are your thoughts like? Well, what impression did you get of this essentially?
It gave the impression that he got his powers in the same way that Catwoman gets her powers when all the cats come and bite her and lick her or whatever it was, and then he comes back to life as a cat.
That's a great point.
That's the impression it gave.
Because people who don't know any details about Kraven and just know superhero characters from their movies are just going to think that's the same as Spider-Man. And maybe that was the vibe that they were trying to go for.
Yeah, I got more of it was a Punisher vibe. That sort of like I was like, oh, it's Punisher, but with some Beastman.
Yeah,
because
I mean that
it's
not entirely inaccurate, you know, of Kraven hunting people essentially. But there's so many things. He doesn't have a Russian accent. First off,
nothing within the trailer that make me want to watch this movie.
Okay, let's go through it then. I'm gonna have the enjoyment of playing it. I'll break down all my thoughts when we pause this. Essentially, EFAP this. All right, I'm gonna click play. Unfortunately. Okay, so instantly when I saw that, it's just like, the hell is this? Kraven can't do that.
Sight
Okay.
of an eagle.
Assassin's Creed style.
Speed of the cheetah.
My son.
Yeah. It's just, you see this in every superhero movie, of superheroes chasing cars and whatnot, and super speed and whatnot.
Never show mercy. They are prey.
Now, initially, I found Russell Crowe's voiceover interesting. Oh, okay. Maybe you'll explain why Kraven likes to hunt and whatnot because of his father. That's an interesting dynamic you could have, essentially having like an interesting father figure and him teaching him the ropes, essentially, all this stuff. And then the trailer goes on and it's just like, oh no, he's just the bad guy in this. Oh, it's nothing like that, actually. It's not as cool as they wanted you to see it.
He's an evil Pa Kent.
Yeah.
But he's
Essentially.
the lure. He's the bait for a lot of people that, for me, that doesn't know any of these characters.
Mhm.
I'll watch this and be like, oh, I know that guy though. I know that actor. So
Oh
that's sort
yeah,
of like,
Russell Crowe. Yeah.
Yeah, that gets me to shuffle closer to the door and then absorb everything else they want to promote.
Mm-hmm.
But like you say, then if he ends up being the bad guy, it's like, oh, that was a bit of a mislead at the beginning, or possibly even a bit of a spoiler. But they assume because some people know, it's like, it don't matter about spoilers and stuff.
All right, let's carry on. And it's obviously, stroking the animal and then stabbing it. It's just typical animal movie stuff. It's getting stupid. It just reminds me of the Ray touching the big worm in the tunnels. Remember that? And healing it.
Yeah, that was dumb also.
This is this kind of stuff that there's nothing wrong with killing a dangerous animal. I think that's what Hollywood does not understand.
We are predators. Boys, your mother is dead.
She died because you sent her away.
I like that. Your mother has died, and then you just show a grave. Like, okay, yeah, I get it. She died, and you show the picture of a grave.
No.
Yeah, okay. Thanks for that. Hang on. Would this be Chameleon?
Yes.
Ah.
As they are brothers. If he turns out not to be, or he gets killed during this, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Oh, okay.
Because that is supposed to be his brother, the Chameleon.
Okay. Hang on. I thought they were stepbrothers or something like that. They're actual biological brothers.
I'm sure it's just a simple retcon.
Okay. So already an inaccuracy there. But what do I know? I knew that bit of nerd knowledge was in the back of my head somewhere, but I can't exactly remember whether he's an actual sibling or some cousin or they're definitely relatives, but I can't remember in what way. They probably invented the father figure for and I'm seeing already that Russell Crowe is the only one bothering with a Russian accent. Kraven is Russian. He should have that sort of accent.
So already in the first 41 seconds of this trailer, they're pretty much saying, yeah, if you know these characters or like the story, you're probably not going to... We've changed it. They're letting you know that to begin with, I suppose.
I mean, they simply could have watched any animated version of Spider-Man to see that every single version of Kraven, apart from one, has a heavy accent.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. It's kind of impossible to miss. And a little bits of research would have told you that, but let's just get this trailer over with.
She was weak, sick in her mind. You know my business, yes? Power is about strength.
Power is about strength. Does that make sense to any of you guys?
No.
Power is about
particularly.
Strength of what? Physical
Power,
strength?
power is another word. Let's look up at the sentence. Power. It means the same thing. Strength.
Speed
You're
is
not
about
making any sense.
quickness.
Yeah.
If he had
Speed
said
is about
power is about control, then that would have fit.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of. I'm being reminded of the Rings of Power. You know. Oh. and
There is a tempest in me.
when the stupid like brother of hers, like in the beginning, like in the first episode, like with a rock and then it drowns and some stupid metaphor that it can't even remember. I can't remember anything about that show, just that stupid metaphor at the
Yeah,
beginning.
it was a riddle about, do you know why a rock is the same as a ship? Oh, fuck off.
If you're gonna make some sort of metaphor analogies, at least make them make sense.
Yeah,
it's
and
not
they
hard to
absolutely didn't. Most of the script didn't make sense.
Yeah. So
I
the
had
Catman
more
film is
fun
looking great. I agree. The Catman film-
watching the reviews. I didn't watch it myself. I just watched the reviews, and I'm glad that I didn't watch the series.
Mhm.
That way,
Yeah.
you can't possibly ruin anything I've read or watched before.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yep.
All right, let's get this over with, I suppose.
If you show weakness, you will give our enemies an opening.
Okay, CGI Alliance. I suppose we're gonna shoot. Like, what's the hesitation with this? Now, I do remember a little recent report before this trailer came out that I'm pretty sure Aaron Taylor Johnson said this, that Kraven is a animal lover in this film, and it's just like, what the hell does that mean? He's a freaking poacher. Do poachers
Yes.
love animals? Like, no, they kind of wear them and skin them. I suppose maybe they like to, hunt them. That's just the whole freaking point. And it's just an animal lover. Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Why not make, I don't know, freaking Batman love bats? That's as stupid as it gets. It's stupid. Stupid.
Shoot.
Yeah, I agree with the father here wholeheartedly. Shoot the freaking lion, kid. Shoot
Yeah.
the radioactive lion.
Yeah, radioactive lion there.
Is it? Sorry.
He is weak, like his mother.
If you want me to pause at any point, by the way, feel free to tell me. And I'll
Sorry, I
pause
was just going to ask: is the lion special because it looks like it was put together on a PlayStation 2 game? When it attacked, then it's just the quality in it. And this isn't. This is me who loves. This is me who loves the original Evil Dead, which was like a handful of friends getting stoned and drunk in a little cabin with a high-8 camera for a weekend. So I'm not like Mr. Everything has to look amazing, but when it's a big studio like this and they've spent however much money they spend, the quality on some of the bloody CGI, it's like they can't be asked to make it half the time. They're just going through the motions.
Oh yeah, definitely. When it stood still, I suppose it looked okay-ish, reasonably okay. As soon as it moves, just we ran out of budget on this kid, but let's just low angle it and cut it quickly, essentially.
Yeah, and this is meant to get us through the door. This is meant to intrigue us to come and spend money on it.
I mean, they may be going down the route of the one in the Amazing Spider-Man cartoon where he's injured in an attack and a serum is used to save his life, which gives him enhanced strength, senses, and speed.
I don't. Can't we just make Kraven like just a regular poacher? At least, and maybe once he's Kraven, not a kid. Maybe give him powers after.
No, they've got to give him powers. It's got to be superpowers.
Yeah. Sure. You roboted Z Threepio. At least for
Sorry
me.
about that.
Could you repeat that?
Yeah, I was just laughing.
Oh, okay. I thought you said something, but it just like cut out. All right. let's get through this. I'm already dying here out of the freaking pain this is causing me.
Leave him.
What happened that day?
Look at that little droplet of blood. Oh no!
I mean,
Radioactive.
anybody watching
lion
this would think he's got his powers from a lion's blood.
28 days later.
He turns like into a lion, I guess. The Lion Man. That's what the trailer should be called. Look at this. This is pathetic. Oh, good God.
That shot, I'm quite sure that is, well, I suppose everything's been done twice already now, so you can't really say anyone's plagiarizing someone specifically. But in the first 28 Days Later film, the bit where the father, I think his name's, I can't remember his name, but the father looks up at the corpse that's hung up and a bit of blood drops. And it's the same slow motion straight into his eye. And then you see, I'm sure you then see the blood like this. So it looks a bit like that mixed with Catwoman.
Yeah, this is beyond generic. And look, and he opens his eyes, and then it's, oh no, I'm transforming.
Oh, death.
Yeah, that is the cat. I think there is. That kind of reminds. Is this a Madame Web Easter egg? Maybe. There's a cards. Z3P. What do you think?
I think more likely it's going to link close to the Agatha series. If it is indeed an Easter egg. But it's not.
Because I know Sony is building their own universe.
Yeah, this is their own universe, so they're not really linking it to the Disney Plus project. So
yeah,
I don't
think they're doing a Madame Web that has like a set of cards either. I think they're doing something different, which is going to be equally stupid like this.
No, it probably doesn't link to anything at all that Disney are doing. So
yeah,
maybe a hint at something more later on.
Yeah, and his eyes turn yellow. And yeah, we hear Aaron Taylor-John's regular voice, not Russian or anything, even though his father has a thick Russian accent.
They have turned into Lionel.
Your death in the face, and for the first time, I saw my true self.
Oh, lion eyes! You know,
thunder.
This is exact. You could replace this guy here with freaking Morbius in this exact and have the exact same shot.
I think this film's going to do the same numbers as Morbius. This is a movie that nobody asked for at all, and yet here we are.
Watch out! I'm gonna crave instead of a mob.
It's cravening time.
It's crave. Yes, I love that.
That's what he's about to say just there. It's cravening time.
Are they really trying to say he got his powers from a lion? I think they are. Like, literally, that to Danny, he thought the powers come from the lion, right? Even if the intention isn't there, this is telling the people that his powers come from a freaking lion. Stupid.
If you don't know the character, that's exactly what you're going to take out from this.
Lots of people will watch this trailer and they'll think it's like, oh, is this Catwoman 2, Catman, or something like that? The transitioning of Catwoman or something. I don't know, but it's got a lot of the same bits, even if just from the trailer's perspective.
We're gonna be Kraven for Kraven. That's a good one. I'm gonna put that on my wall. All right. This October. Are you guys hyped? This October? Oh my gosh.
Tell me about this hunter.
They say he uses a connection with animals to track his prey.
No, shut up. No, Kraven doesn't do that. Shut up. No. He does not have connection with animals.
Was he a villain all the way through then, originally?
He's essentially a mercenary, a poacher. He challenges like people to a fight. He's essentially like your school bully, essentially looking always the biggest guy to pick on. And he
But
essentially
sorry.
he's so talented at his freaking job in the jungles of Africa that he says, you know what, I need a bigger challenge. He's a regular guy, and he's like, hey, in New York, there's like some superheroes in here. Okay, how about I just fight these guys? Essentially, they have superpowers. They'll surely give me a challenge.
But he
That's
doesn't
the
turn over a
basic
new
idea.
leaf. He doesn't turn over a new leaf and
No,
start fighting with them.
he's a villain. He's always looking
Yeah.
for a fight.
Well, yeah.
Some iterations, maybe he does somewhat good things, but he's mainly a villain. You know, a foil for Spider-Man to fight.
It's not going to go down if he's Kraven, the World Wildlife Fund representative.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Fighting for Greenpeace, getting whales out of the ocean. Just fuck off.
We need planting trees, man.
Oh no. Shut
It's
up.
so-
There's no Kraven at all.
But
I'm
then
annoyed.
The lasses can, as well as like looking at him going, oh, look at him, doesn't he look so dreamy, etc., etc. They can also think he's a nice, kind, sensitive soul because of how much he loves animals. So
Mhm.
just remember, bad guys aren't always bad guys. You've got to trust bad guys. It's what, look, well, they've done Joker and they've done other films where it's like the anti-hero, but it's not the
Morbius.
anti-hero, really.
Yeah.
It's just a twat that they've tried to paint out and stretch it as tight as they can to be like, look, we think this guy is positive from our perspective.
Mhm.
When it's
Yeah,
really,
they're
it's like,
actually
no,
the
he was
good
just-
guy.
He's like, no, he's not a good guy. He's a villain. He's a wanker.
Mhm.
Yeah, Death Note. I don't know if you've seen Death Note or read Death Note, but there's a thing with that, with the character that starts off good, sort of like gets darker as it goes on, and the character that starts off as the antagonist gets more relatable as it goes on. In a similar way to Breaking Bad, but it, in my opinion, it was a lot better than Breaking Bad. But it's that similar sort of transition, and a lot of people didn't sort of get that, and they just went, "Oh, the bad guy's good," because of it, because they said he was a good guy. Sorry, they thought his bad behavior was acceptable, and people just missed the point. And it's like, oh, I feel like they just want bad behavior from us,
Yeah.
and it's to blur a line, and yeah.
Yeah, movies these days are afraid to do genuine evil villains, and that annoys the hell out of me. Because there's nothing Greenpeace about freaking Kraven. I don't know what freaking drugs they were on whilst they were reading or doing any research that they ended up thinking, how about we make Kraven a freaking animal activist, a protector? It's just no.
I'm literally waiting for the next news article to say we were told not to read the comics.
Just good God. All right, let's carry on with the trailer, shall we?
Once you're on his list, there's only one way off.
The six of us, and only one of you.
Look at this. Look at this suit.
No,
What the hell is this?
the guy who's playing Kraven should be jacked to Jason Momoa proportions.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I would even say Jason Momoa would have made a better Kraven.
He would have. I think he would have at least tried a Russian accent as well. I mean, his performance of Past X was the only standout in that film. Yeah, actually, that would have been a really great casting.
I think he would have done the job a lot better than this.
This is just like, Mom, can we have Kraven? No, we have Kraven at home. This is Kraven at home.
Yeah.
Six of you now.
Okay. I think this is a part where people compliment it. Essentially, like, oh yeah, it's got gory action scenes and good action scenes, and it looks great. I might check it out. It's just like, this looks like the most generic trash in the history of mankind, and you're excited for it. I do not understand mainstream normies sometimes. It's just like, what about this looks interesting to you? Just because he freaking tore off a nose like this. Like, people are saying like, oh, the action's cool, I might check it out. It's just like, no, it looks generic. I don't know what's interesting about this.
No, me neither. It looks like the sort of thing that went straight to DVD.
Yeah.
Gratuitous violence is just when you overdo everything, then there's nothing left to do. So you're just trying to jump that shark over and over again, and yeah.
Really doesn't make sense to me. You could probably, right, out of all the Spider-Man villains, keep Kraven PG-ish, you know? And the fact that they went with Morbius and PG, like, no, Morbius should be a full-on horror movie. He's a freaking living vampire.
Yeah.
And to go R-rated with this is just
But it's also
bizarre to
going to
me.
limit the audience, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's R-rated, so a lot of people who would normally be interested in this sort of thing and are invested in the superhero genre might not even be able to go and see it.
I think maybe Sony thinks, okay, this is the more popular Spider-Man villain, unlike Morbius, so, you know, we'll risk it with an R rating like Venom. No, they didn't do it with Venom either, did they? I don't think they did.
A character that could have used it.
And
I mean, they're going for a PG
you
Blade
make
as
freaking
well.
Venom. Oh, that annoys me.
That hurts so
really
much.
annoys
If
me.
anything they're doing currently should be R-rated. It's got to be that. You can't have a PG Blade. And
oh no! Don't remind me
PG.
about the PG Blade. Oh,
PG Blade.
PG Blade. Marvel don't ever change. Essentially, just keep making trash. Obviously, you have to have a shirtless scene. That is a standard, you know.
Yes, because men can be objectified, women can't.
We can't see Margot Robbie shirtless, you know. Just Aaron Taylor Johnson, of course. You know, no hypocrisy detected.
How do you hunt?
My father puts evil into the world.
Yeah, you don't exactly put good in the world either, mate.
Yeah, I mean, those are Punisher levels of morality, aren't they? It's all right if I kill you.
Yeah.
You're a bad guy. Mummy, when's Daddy coming home?
Oh no, I'm afraid he was killed. He was just a simple guard, you know, guarding some poacher's facility, and you know he randomly got shot in the head alongside
this
some.
is how supervillains are formed, isn't it? I will avenge his death.
I will have revenge on the man known as Kraven.
At this point, there must be hundreds of people after Kraven.
Yeah.
You killed my father. Prepare to die.
He's got radioactive lion too. Probably. What do you guys think? Is that the tooth of the lion? Might not even be a lion.
I think he picked that up in a Ibiza gift shop. About $5 each. You can also get them in shaped like little teeth with your initial on.
Oh.
So, yeah, it doesn't look anything.
Oh, the R rating. Villains aren't born.
Enough. He's not buff enough.
Villains aren't born.
I think you're some kind of honor. You are exactly like our father. Just another man hunting for a trophy.
Yeah, that's what Kraven is. Jeez. You know? And it's just like, no, you're evil in this thing.
I am evil, yes.
Yeah, I see what you're saying about the size of him. He's sort of like... I keep thinking it's Hugh Jackman,
tiny.
to be honest.
No, you need somebody absolutely jacked up like Jason Momoa.
No.
You look at Kraven
He looks
in the comics. He is enormous.
This actor looks like him. Sorry. Yeah, I agree. It should be someone bigger. I've seen the character visually, but I'm looking at this guy and thinking, oh, he'd replace Hugh Jackman as Wolverine quite aptly. That'd work quite well.
Could do Wolverine quite easily, but
you need someone like Roman Reigns or bloody The Rock or Momoa. Someone jacked to the bloody gills, yeah.
Because he's like the peak of human performance, essentially.
Yeah, he needs to look like he can snap you in two just by thinking about it. And he doesn't. He's not physically imposing on the people. I suppose that's their mistake, but he doesn't look like a threat, and you need him to look like a threat.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me that much as long as they get at least the suit right, which they seem to do. But yeah, but if most of the time he'll be wearing the freaking brown leather little shit that came from the X-Men movies in the early 2000s, I'm gonna be a little annoyed. I muted it accidentally. Whoops.
We're murderers. Isn't that what he taught us? You don't get to do that to me anymore.
Abusive father figure. Oh my gosh, typical Hollywood. No good father figures. Oh, Spider-Verse, spiders. This is a reference to the Spider-Verse.
This is a reference
money
to
shot.
Kraven's Last Hunt, where to become the spider, he must eat spiders.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Oh my god.
How is this going to? Yeah, this is definitely a Madame Web. I'm guessing Madame Web because Sony. I'm filming Madame Web at the moment. I'm pretty sure with Sydney Sweeney, who's hot. And it's probably the only reason to watch that movie. But I forget who's else in there. Madame Web movie, that is just bizarre to me. Really weird. All right. I suppose they have to have some sort of Spider-Man reference, I suppose. Because it's a bit they have to relate it to Spider-Man somehow, and not have the logo on Venom, which that's.
Mr. Taglin? Mr. Taglin? Where's Mr. Taglin?
Oh, you're standing in him.
He looks like he's struggling to hold that crossbow.
I wouldn't be surprised because Kraven
Like really
doesn't use
struggling.
those.
Is
That's
it not?
not a weapon he would use.
Fair enough.
So it doesn't make sense why he is.
You're a goddamn lunatic.
Oh, you just figured that out now?
And it's just this typical. Look at him just jumping on walls like freaking Morbius. No, shut up.
I think that's meant to be the voodoo priestess Calypso, who.
Yeah, that's his little girlfriend, isn't it?
Yeah.
Again, obscure character. Kraven the Hunter is just. Why even bother with this? I'll explain why this movie is being made after we get through this stinger, I guess.
There is an animal in each one of us.
Don't you want to know why they call me the Rhino?
Okay, this is incredibly stupid. The whole point of the Rhino is that A, he has a suit. In some versions, it can be biological, but primarily A, he has a rhinoceros suit. B, his ultimate problem is he can't change back, essentially, or have the suit off him. He's just stuck as the Rhino. He can't transform willy-nilly to a huge rhinoceros bandit. That's not how it works. It's not like a freaking Venom symbiote. All right, and that's like the tragedy of the Rhino. He's just stuck like that. And it's not a particularly good thing, and it's why he goes on a criminal spree essentially, because his single step essentially smashes everything. And this thing that he's just some goon who can transform into a big rhino is just, you're missing all the nuance to it, and I freaking hate it.
I think it's crazy because both Kraven and the Rhino are supposed to be Russian, and neither of them sound Russian.
That is true. Yeah. Danny, you were about to say something.
I was going to say I remember the Rhino, but then you'd said about the Russian thing, and maybe it's to do with the whole banning any mention of Russian or allowance Russians in pop competitions and stuff like that. Maybe it's just some really pointless protest.
Well, you see, these are both villains. So if they were actual villains, maybe they'd bother making, with the Russian accent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, am I happy with this movie? Not particularly. This is stupid. Wouldn't it technically change like into a hood or some? God knows. Yeah. So this just looks stupid to me, and the reason why they're making this movie is to hold on. Sony is making this movie to hold on to the Spider-Man rights, essentially. They're trying to dish out whatever movie they can to essentially hold on to the Spider-Man film rights. Because they know they can't really do any Tom Holland related movies without Marvel's say so. Because that's the kind of like a collaborative thing. They have to keep shilling out these movies. Now,
So
the
do
ultimate
you
conundrum
think-
to this, yeah. Sorry, see.
No, go on. I think you're just about to lead in what I was going to say.
Yeah. So the ultimate conundrum is: do we let Sony keep making these shitty movies so they can keep the film rights, or would you rather have it in Disney's complete hands, where they essentially buy it or some shit? So, from a certain point of view, I'm glad Sony has the rights and not Disney, but doesn't mean I have to like their movies, essentially, and what they're doing with it.
So what you're
Yeah.
saying is they're essentially just showing up at the office to do the bare minimum, to be like, yeah, we still work here, and we've still got Spider-Man toys. Look, here's my
Yeah.
Spider-Man toys. Don't forget these are mine, so don't take them. And then they bugger off for like a year, and then they come back and do the bare minimum again.
Yeah, that is exactly right.
Who?
It's a
out of
very
curiosity-
weird conundrum.
Hold on.
It's a very weird conundrum because what I would suggest, instead of doing stupid Morbius, Madam Web, a freaking Venom movie without a freaking Spider-Man, a freaking Kraven, instead of doing all these freaking obscure characters, how about you do a Spider-Man 2099 movie with the director of Tron? Literally, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 movie, or say what you will about that movie, but it looks absolutely gorgeous. And I'm sure you could make an absolutely gorgeous looking film set in the future with a completely different Spider-Man, Miguel O'Hara, and it would make sense because it's just like people are just going to think, oh, it's just a Spider-Man but in the future. It's not like the MCU are going to use Miguel anytime soon. No, but we'll make a live action Miles Morales movie. Screw Miles. How about you delve like a noir Spider-Man or a freaking future Spider-Man? So some Spider-Man are very different to the Peter Parker ones, and those are some I think they should use if you have to make some sort of Spider-Man related movies. Stop freaking doing Morbius and freaking Madame Web. That's just stupid and pointless. Yeah. Sorry, were you guys going to say anything before my little
Do you
rant
think they're moving towards the Sinister Six?
Probably.
So you've got Kraven, the Rhino. You've already got the Vulture in the Tom Holland universe and Mysterio. And
I'm not sure about Mysterio.
End credit scene of No Way Home, you've now got part of the Venom symbiote in the Tom Holland universe.
Right.
So they could very well go for a Sinister Six option.
The thing is, this is incredibly confusing because the Sony universe is separate to the Marvel universe. That is made very clear in No Way Home, where essentially you've got these like little dimensions essentially, and they set that up. And in the Morbius movie, out of everything, they have freaking Michael Keaton show up in Morbius's universe. And Morbius takes place in the same universe as Venom. I know this sounds complicated. It is. So yeah, because of the whole events of No Way Home, Michael Keaton's Vulture somehow ended up in the Sony universe with the villains. So, is there a Spider-Man in the Sony verse? We don't know. We know there's a Venom. We know there's a Morbius. We know there's a Madame Web, and we know there's a Kraven now as well.
Yeah, I think
so in that universe,
up
maybe like it's
something
Mr. Six, and maybe they transport into the Marvel. I have no idea how they're gonna make it work. They aren't. They're just doing the bare minimum, like Danny said. No real plan in there, and they're just putting post-credit scenes because hey, that's what Marvel does,
Yeah.
Yeah, and because of the actions of No Way Home, none of them know Peter Parker's identity anymore.
Yeah.
So
Um,
may work.
yeah.
What-
The thing is, like, carrying on with Spider-Man movies. Like, what if Tom Holland Spider-Man like meets like a Gwen Stacy? You know, like, oh no, better not be boyfriend with her. She's gonna die because in another multiverse. You know, what if he meets like a doctor named Otto Octavius? Who's like, hang on, I thought this guy in the new. It kind of you're limiting your options a little bit with No Way Home. Apparently there is a script for it, and Tom Holland said it's good, but you know, but going back to these villain movies, I have no. They're throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks with these.
Yeah.
They have no plan for it.
And I like
is
to
what I think
assume
of.
that the studio that did the John Wick films would be an opposing studio. They're not the, it's not the same studio, I'm guessing.
Sony
Because
made
those-
these.
Who's
Uh,
responsible for the John Wick films? Do you know off the top of your head?
Lionsgate?
So yeah, well, not so. It's just the point is a lot of that looked very similar to like, hey, do you like the John Wick Revenge films? They've done really well. We're bringing a fifth one out now or something. Maybe you'll like this that we've got to offer. It looks like they're trying to tap into a similar market, and they'll just happily, in my opinion, just grab whatever intellectual property they own to do that. If people gravitate to this and cheer it on and they want to see him in Spider-Man things, they'll figure some way out to be like, oh yeah, it was the multiverse, or the hole ripped somewhere and he fell out. So it's not quite the exact same one, but you know the character now, so just get on with it. They'll just, I think you're right that they are just making up as they go along, but they'll act like, oh yeah, we were meant to do that. And they'll just slap it together. They'll slap it together however they see fit, if they need to. But if it flops and no one cares, they could just leave it. And they've got so many other characters to use if they wanted to.
Yeah. The thing is, for some reason, for some stupid reason, the Venom movies make money. And they're trying to, you know, tie it in with Tom Holland, but, you know, Kevin's not having all that. And now, because Marvel are essentially sinking with their movies, I can see where they're a bit more lenient. Like, you know what? Maybe get these Sony villains in there. You know, Kevin kind of changes his mind essentially, getting he's trying to essentially. He's gonna try to get everything people like, and people like Tom Hardy, Venom. I like the casting of Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock Venom, but say the movies are any good would be false. Those movies are absolutely abysmal. The only good thing about like the last Venom movie was the posters. They have cool again. Sony can make a good poster. The MCU for recent mainstream movies can't make posters. They have like those kinds of posters where you know you can see everyone's face.
The Star Wars one. The Star Wars pillar.
Yeah. I'll show you, like, for instance, an example. Blue Beetle recently did this as well. Blue Beetle poster where they essentially have everyone's face on it. Let me just share this.
It's funny you should mention Blue Beetle because I'm excited for Kraven as much as I'm excited for Blue Beetle. They're on the exact same level.
Yeah, so you know you've got every face of every person in here, right? And then let me show you just Infinity War. This is the first one that I noticed. So you've got the poster for yeah, so you have Infinity War, you know, everyone's face on there, it has to be there. Then you've got Harry Potter as well. No, not the Harry Potter. Crimes of Grindelwald or some shit. I can't remember. Crimes of Grindelwald 2 poster. Oh yeah, you have Harry Potter essentially with the faces as well. Okay. Yeah, same thing. every person's face. They're all kind of same as they all have like a similar structure.
Yeah, look
of
at the Mario Brothers
everyone's face in there.
poster, that newer Mario Brothers one. Like say it's the Star
Yeah,
Wars
yeah,
setup,
Mario.
where
Yeah,
everyone's stood in a pillow facing outwards. And
now Venom 2 poster. Look at that.
Yeah.
It's just
If only the film was exciting as the posters.
exactly. Just,
But at least
I
they've
would
got the
hang out on
characters
that
on there. At least they've got the
Mm.
actual characters on that poster, not just a picture of Tom Hardy and Woody Harrelson on the front.
Mm.
Look, you go back to that Avengers one, and it's like, look, it's Robert Downey Jr. This is what everyone's here for. And it's like, no, they're
Exactly.
here for Iron Man, not for Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah. And when you go into a Venom, it's just like, yeah, we're here for these awesome-looking creatures to fight, you know, and this freaking carnage creature to smash everything. Yeah, movie posters have been just incredibly lazy the past few days. Yeah, I just wanted to share that tidbit. Literally, I recommend all you people watching and people on the panel, when you go to a movie, look at the poster and do like a checklist. Do you see every single actor's face on there? Check. Do you see everyone in the movie on there, essentially? Yeah, check. Does it have more than 2 characters in there? Yeah, yeah. There's nothing like... Sometimes simplicity is key, not just like a big Infinity War ensemble. And I'm just... It's slowly starting to drive me nuts, essentially. And the Kraven trailer is why I would say it was good looking as well. It just has Kraven sitting on like this kind of throne with his comic accurate suit. And speaking of Kraven creations, one last thing I wanted to show you guys is we covered this on a previous show, but I thought maybe I would cover this little section again, just to compare and contrast. And Danny, you haven't seen this, so we're going to compare and contrast the portrayal of Kraven and this little bit. We're just going to watch the beginning part, essentially, with Kraven. And there's been a recent Spider-Man game, Spider-Man 2, stupidly titled. And Kraven is in this game. And they've just released a cutscene of Kraven. And just tell me, which would you like? By the end of it, you guys can tell me, which do you like more? This portrayal or the Sony movie?
Look at him. He's jacked.
Yeah.
You know, and you instantly have it in a jungle and whatnot. You know, it's just perfect Kraven environment.
You grow slow in your old age, Sergei.
Yeah, and they mentioned his actual name, Sergei. So
And he's got an accent.
Yes, Russian accent.
It's not that hard.
A fate you will not share.
Oh, I love that line. Love that line. Love that output as well.
I thought this guy was Kraven, but this guy's even bigger and huger and massive and jacked, and I want to lick him.
And the music as well is just perfect.
I've been in your shadow for hours, but you sense nothing. Pathetic.
And you have like this thing where it just looks like a lion as well. So good.
So much better. They should have totally gone with that.
I asked for an equal. And this is what you find.
Sir, perhaps a new hunting ground.
And you got Black Cat, you have Prowler, Wraith, Spider-Man in there as well. All different heroes.
Spider-Man!
Looking and grinning ear to ear.
Light the fires. The great hunt begins.
He's mahoosive.
And the music as well. So, there. 1 minute 59. You've already shown it's so much more copying accurate, so much greater portrayal of Kraven in there. What do you guys think? Comparing and contrasting.
They should have gone with that completely.
Mm-hmm.
If they'd actually shown that as the Kraven in the movie trailer, they would have a lot more people raving for it right now, instead of this half-assed, toned-down, wimpy version.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's just, Mom, can we have Kraven? And it's just like this little Kraven. Just, no, we have Kraven at home. It's just in the shitty leather outfit with Aaron Taylor Johnson. It's just, it's hilarious. I find it hilarious that you know, they kind of released the trailer and we get this freaking Kraven in the trailer. Like, I'm glad that they did went with Kraven, because it just shows this absolute stupidity of yeah. Like, you can do it so much better, and it's really not that hard. It really isn't to do Kraven well.
Yeah, if they just done a trailer either with that but acted out, or something similar where you just see him just like take care of a guy of that size with one hand, and then look at his little map and be like, "Oh yeah, Spider-Man, let's go and hunt him," and then just left it. That would have had people like, "Oh shit, yeah, I want to." Fucking hell, yeah, let's go see that.
Even a trailer just like that one, because that had a misdirect in it. I thought that guy was Kraven, and then it turns out he isn't. It's a bigger, badder, harder version.
Yeah, definitely.
Sold.
Yeah, and you know the lines as well. You go slow in your old age, Sergei. Afraid you will not share. I love that line to pieces. Like, simple yet effective, and works so much better than your freaking metaphor is power is about strength or whatever. That doesn't make sense whatsoever. So yeah, there you go, chat. That was the comparison of the Chad Alpha Kraven versus the weak and beta male.
Now, who here is going to the cinema to watch Kraven the Hunter?
Nope.
No, I won't watch. No, I might watch it in a certain local Indian place. You know, some of the people speak like a different language. You know,
I'll be going to
if
my
you know what I
local
mean.
Slots Light Cafe.
Oh yeah. I'll watch it. I'll go yeah. Danny, are you interested in the Sony Kraven movie?
No, it's not drawn me in, I'm afraid.
Oh, that's a shame. You know, I'm sure you'd definitely enjoy it.
Well,
I don't know what even the attraction is to normies, essentially.
If it didn't have, I mean, the violence and stuff doesn't bother me, but say if we go somewhere and if we go away and there's like an on-demand service and it's got that film on there, it wouldn't be something that you could watch with everybody, even just casually, because I think, like Z said, it's just, well, there's the R rating and it's going to restrict who can come and watch it. So yeah, I don't know how well it's going to do. Just looking at how bloody well the other films and that, they're doing too much, and they do too much, too hard, and yeah, people aren't made of money. They can't go and see everything, and you're just going to upset the hardcore fans. Not even just the hardcore fans, but people that are relatively familiar with an intellectual property are just going to be like, no, this isn't what I remember. This is meant to be nostalgic, but I don't remember any of these things. You've changed this, you've added that.
Yeah.
And people like just lose interest.
Daredevil, you're never going to be able to tell the story Born Again within that Marvel series, because a lot of the characters who are in it are dead or gone.
Right.
And you just can't do it. So it's another thing where, like Secret Wars, where it's going to be in name only, and they're just setting themselves up for disappointment. It would have been much better to have done a new story which they obviously have done based on the IP, but kept a lot of the key elements that are going to come.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't think they're going to do that. They're just going to mess it up. They're going to taint the original material with their Disney-fied bollocks, and it's just going to fail abysmally, just like everything else they're doing at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But they know it is. They've been told, they've been shown time and time again that people are as interested in all the stuff that they're just churning out continuously. So you have to think that making the entertainment isn't actually their primary objective, because if it was, they'd change something, because they keep losing money, or they're not coming close to making as much money as they used to make consistently. So you just got to guess it's just to get the actors over, their new actors they want people to accept, or the writers that they want people to accept, or the narratives within the films that have nothing to do with the intellectual properties. But if they don't care that people don't want to watch the stuff, they must just be happy and like, well, we've got it out there. That's what we actually wanted. We don't care if the nerds don't like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
just
it's
for the
our
names,
IP. We'll do with it what we want.
Exactly. It's my toy. I'll play with it and break it if I want to, and paint it different colors if I need to.
Yeah. That's the sad reality of the entertainment industry today. No actual fandom behind the camera. Just, oh, it has a popular name. Let's just make my own thing with this. Essentially, not read any of the material behind it. Essentially, or respect it in any way. And on that bombshell, I guess we'll be finishing off the show. Danny, would you like to tell the people where they can find you and whatnots as well?
Yep, you can find me on Twitter at Blunt Damage. There's a lot of wrestling stuff there, as well as video games. If you're into pro wrestling, anytime there's any of the big pay-per-views, I review them on geeksandgamers.com. I'm not doing Forbidden Door tomorrow night because it's just an absolute mess that has no relevance to the weekly episodes, but regular scheduled programming in a couple of weeks for the next WWE pay-per-view. Oh yeah, I cover WWE and AEW. I don't do everything, just the two bigger shows.
Nice. Yeah, I've left the Twitter, his Twitter, the link in the description below, so you can follow him from there. Zee Threepio, where can the people find you?
You can find me on the Mr. Brown Alliance. We're about to start our 150th end of week musings. So if you just look for the Mr. Brown Alliance on YouTube, our next show is in 40 minutes time.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So I'm coming straight out of this and straight onto another show.
Nice. So
Nice.
you're on a live stream streak, I guess. Very nice. Yeah, I'll be sure to add that link to the description below. I do have your Twitter link linked in the description below as well.
Thank you very much. And we're a medium, small-sized channel, but we do occasionally get the odd guests in. We've occasionally had the Critical Drinker on our panel as well. So do watch out. We've got Movie Cynic on there. Little Platoon is a regular as well. It's always worth dropping in.
Nice, very nice. Yeah, I think that'll be all for the show. But I do have some things to share in regards to my channel. Recently, I don't know if any of you guys noticed, but EFAB did react to some of my meme videos on the meme pub thing. One of them is like 144 essentially of the timestamps, so I'm definitely chuffed with that. So I wanted to thank people watching, to thank you for watching my silly little animated stream highlights. Essentially, I had no idea that this popular. This is like my EFAP CGI dungeon, so I'm well chuffed that they actually watch these. Yeah, it's always funny to watch their reactions, and
that's really cool. Because I do the same thing as well. I've had a couple of my memes on EFAP. I think the last two I had on there were on their Zack Snyder's Justice League stream.
Yeah.
I did the behold your mother's dingle hopper meme.
Yeah. It's great to watch all of them, and it's towards the end of it, there was some guy like painting like figures of Rags and Mora as well. Like, there's some talented people making all this stuff, and honored to be amongst them as well. So
it is pretty cool, yeah.
So new in terms of new videos, I am working on a little something, but it might take time. I am trying to my best to keep up with live streams, keep them regular on Sunday. But in terms of videos, I am trying to upload stuff soon. I know I've been lacking in that department, but new videos soon, I promise. They just they take time. Stay tuned for the next show on Sunday, as the usual 8 p.m. British time. I'm also on the Legion of Memers stream. Ooh, I'm maybe missing in action essentially for the next few ones, purely because of other things I have to attend to. You can subscribe to both of these gentlemen or follow them on Twitter in the links below. I'll see you all guys later. Let me just find the outro. Yeah, I found it. There we go. Not boomerang at all. Goodbye, everyone. Ta-ra.
Take care. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.